Hello, my friends. Today we're going to continue with passive voice structure. The aim of this code is the following. Number one, we should know what do we mean by past participle form. Number two, to be able to distinguish passive structures. Let us start. For instance, bring, brought, brought. The last one is the past participle form. Drive, drove, driven, driven, this is a past participle form. Take, took, taken, taken is a past form of the past participle of the verb take. Climb, climbed, climbed, this is a regular verb, and here this is the last one, the last word, namely climbed. You see it is the past participle form. We can say this is the third form of the verb or past participle, they convey the same meaning. So, since we are discussing passive voice, do you see, we should know, we should focus on the past participle form of the verb because it is the form that we generally use, do you see, in or for making passive structures. Let us come to another thing, namely, what is the form of the passive structure? Suppose that we are reading a text, how can we know, how do we know that this is a passive structure and this is not a passive structure? Let us have the general form. For instance, the general form is as the following: subject. The general form is as the following: subject, be, and past participle. Subject, be, and past participle. Let us have examples. For instance, if we say he is brought there daily, he is brought there daily. This is to be. Brought, this past form, this past and past participle form of bring, and here this is it has been used as a past participle. So this is a passive structure because we have be plus past participle, or be has been followed by past participle form of the verb. Another example, for instance, we say the cars were stolen. The cars were stolen. Look, this is a passive structure because we have to be, namely were, and it has been followed by the past participle of the verb steal, namely stolen. Do you see? Steal, stole, stolen. These are passive structure. Sometimes we find sentences like this. For instance, we say, she is writing her job. Is it a passive structure? No, this is not a passive structure. Yes, we have to be, you see, namely is, but after is we have ing verb, namely writing. So we haven't, this is not a past participle form of the verb write. So this is not a passive structure. Sometimes we find, for instance, they were talking to their parents. They were talking to their parents. Is it a passive structure? No, this is not a passive structure. Yes, we have to be, namely were, but we have ing verb, or the ing verb form has followed the to be, namely were. So the condition should be actualized. There should be to be form followed by passive past participle. If we have this form, we should know that this is a passive structure. For instance, we can say they can be there. Is it a passive structure? No, this is not a passive structure because yes, we have to be, namely be, but it has been followed. It hasn't been followed by past participle. So the condition that should be actualized in order to get passive voice structure, there should be to be form, one of to be forms, followed by past participle. And you know that. We mean by past participle the third form of the verb. The third form of the verb. In the coming code, we are going to start or to learn how to make passive structures. Thanks so much.